Hello, and I would like to welcome you to a video in how to show the use of sumifs as a function. It's a very powerful function. What we're going to do is to go ahead and locate the total of the sales in the state Texas. We have this criteria first, and we have also the other criteria for city. Going to focus on new profiles and of course to add this totals the sales for each city. So we're going to add this versus because it belongs to the new province as long as located in the state Texas. Austin is not going to be part of the addition because it doesn't meet the second criteria. However, it meets the first criteria, which is the state of Texas. So how are we going to do this? Please don't limit your imagination to what you see here on the screen, but you can imagine that if we are trying to keep track of thousands of cities in maybe 50 states. So that's what I'm going to do actually to create here in the side the different type of criteria. I'm going to copy this just to save myself a couple seconds here and paste it. So I'm going to click the right button here and paste it, as you notice. And also, if I wanted to find again the Texas state, I don't want to really type myself. That's just in case I wanted to avoid any misspelled word or add a space that I don't need to put it there. So I'm going to start with equal B6 to guarantee me that I'm going to actually have the same thing for cities. More likely I would misspell the new profiles, and I could go ahead and grab it directly from the first attempt that I did it, because you probably recall that Excel has an auto fill, so that actually avoid us to have different spelling through the whole spreadsheet, and that's going to give me what I want. Of course, we're going to go ahead and make this a little bit here, where we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, we're going to also this, maybe I could go ahead and now just make the view. It's going to be using sumifs. Don't forget the S as a plural. The first thing is going to ask me about the sum range, which is going to be this one here, comma, and of course we're going to, if we need to do other cities and states, we could go ahead and hit the F4 on the top of this one while I'm tabbing it, actually, just to make sure this is going to be, as you notice, we could toggle through the range of the cells in order to make it absolute address, but it would be much easier if you just hit the F4 as soon as you type that range or selected that range. The first criteria is the state, and also I'm going to hit F4 like I just said before. It's easier to do that. And which one of those states I wanted Texas. I leave Texas in locked, not locked, in order to actually move it to the next range if I decided to look for Maryland or Florida. And of course, the second range is to go ahead and select the city range and hit F4 while I'm tabbing it, hit a comma, and also go to this location here and include it into the parameters or the different values that sumifs require from us to feed it in order to give us the right answer. Here we go. So it's going to be actually 8.5. Look here, as we said, this is going to be the first value, and this is going to be the second value, so it is true. It's going to be actually this amount. It's very easy to actually now go ahead and do Florida, for example, and if we decided to, as I mentioned before, it's better to go ahead and start with the cell by not tabbing yourself, just grabbing it from here, and knowing that we did actually lock those ranges, really easier for me to go ahead and see that keyword is 9 and 3.14 or 3.4. So this is really very powerful function, as you notice. The other thing I could go ahead and show you how to use actually this similar function by counting how many of those actually meets the criteria. How many of those, I'm going to go ahead and format this, how many of those cities in New Braunfels in Texas in the list that I've actually decided to find out the total. Now I'm going to count how many occurrence happens for the state of Florida in pertaining to the city of Key West, or the same thing, Texas and New Braunfels. Let's go ahead and do Texas and New Braunfels. So it's going to be count, but countifs. Countifs is going to actually take this one first, and it's going to be, actually I could lock it also. You notice here, because I did actually go over it quickly, so I'm going to lock that. It's better to do it while you're tabbing it. And this one here is going to be this one here. And of course, this is the second criteria. Immediately hit F4 to lock it, comma, and put the New Braunfels. And of course, we're going to get to see how many of those actually Texas and New Braunfels is due. The same thing we could go ahead and do for Florida, Key West. If I change this, let's say here, from Texas, from Austin to New Braunfels, notice the autofill here is really going to change this to 3 and change the sum. One more thing I would like to show you is averageifs. Very powerful function also, which we're going to actually just push this a little bit here in order to get to see it. So we're going to say the average, meaning the average of all the cities for the sales in the city of New Braunfels, which is very similar to sumifs, except we're going to write here averageifs, and the average is here. Okay, hit F4 directly, and going to go to this one here and hit F4 also, and it's going to be for this one here, and we're going to do this range here and hit F4, comma, we need to go for New Braunfels, select that, close that, and here we go. That's the average for the 3 cities in New Braunfels. The 3 actually increase for New Braunfels in the state of Texas, and the same thing for the others. And this is going to conclude this video. I hope you learned something from it. Watch it again if you felt you want to do that, and have a great day. Bye bye.